Welcome to the TokyoBill Weekly Update. Stories around Japan of interest to me, TokyoBill. Today is November 1st, 2025. The Tokyo Metropolitan Government has launched an English-language international school portal to attract and retain global talent to Tokyo. The portal was designed after parents complained about insufficient information on international schools. The portal offers a comprehensive database of 62 international schools in Tokyo, including details on location, class sizes, capacity, curriculum, and tuition fees. The Tokyo government plans to enhance the content and build up the number of schools listed. The initiative aims to improve the living environment for residents whose first language is not Japanese and to attract international schools to enter the market or expand in Tokyo. Currently, upwards of 4,800 Japanese children are enrolled at international schools in Tokyo's 23 wards. Have you ever eaten bugs? As a high school student, Kazuki Shimizu was introduced to insect snacks by his science teacher. His developing interest in eating insects upset his mother but led to a business aimed at solving social issues through entomophagy, the practice of eating bugs. Shimizu began as a bug tuber, sharing YouTube videos of his culinary experiments and developing products like cricket-infused coffee and cricket gyoza. Now 26, he leads a startup called Products of Innovation, POI, while studying social innovation at Kindai University in Nara Prefecture. He founded POI in June 2023 to build interest in and sell insect-based foods, based on his initial creations. He plans to finish his master's degree next spring. A study suggests that people with surnames starting with the vowels A, I, U, E, or O at the beginning of the Japanese alphabet benefit from a head start in life. This makes it easier for them to advance in their careers. Research published in the Japanese Economic Review shows that these surnames are overrepresented among higher status individuals in Japan, accounting for about 27% of this group, despite being only 22% of the population. The practice of listing names in alphabetical order seems to contribute to early recognition of individuals and opportunities for development for those with A-row surnames. The author himself noted how his last name of Yamamura, Y names being at the tail end of the Japanese alphabet, seemed to limit recognition by his teachers. A Tokyo district court has ruled that speaking to someone using the suffix chan in a workplace setting constitutes sexual harassment, ordering a male employee to pay 220,000 yen in damages. The case involved a woman in her 40s who claimed harassment from a male colleague, leading her to file a lawsuit in 2023. The court ruled that as chan is generally used for children or intimate partners, it has little justification in a workplace setting. The employer, delivery company Sagawa Express, reached a settlement with the woman earlier this year, agreeing to pay 700,000 yen as part of the resolution. Harassment prevention expert Yuko Yamafuji emphasized that san remains the most neutral and respectful form of address for any colleague, regardless of gender or seniority. Japanese journalist Shiori Ito has made an apology for using footage without permission from one subject in her film Black Box Diaries. The documentary, based on her own experience as a sexual assault survivor, was nominated for a prize at the U.S. Academy Awards this year. Ito had filmed the witness account of a taxi driver describing what he saw before the incident, using the recording without obtaining his consent. The film documents the events that led Ito to accuse former TV reporter Noriyuki Yamaguchi of raping her after they dined together in Tokyo in 2015. Following dispute over the alleged unauthorized use of material, no decision has been made on whether the film will be screened in Japan. China is increasing its production of matcha to meet global demand for the finely ground green tea product. Guizhou province is a top production region for China, the world's largest tea producer. Thanks to the Japanese food and health consciousness boom, the world's largest tea producer, Tongren City in China, began mass production 7 years ago. This year, the factory is expected to produce 2,000 tons, with 40% exported to Western countries, Japan, and other countries, primarily used in processed food. China and Japan are both working towards the development of matcha culture, with Japan being globally appreciated for its quality and recognized brands, while China aims to satisfy the global market in terms of quantity. The European Space Agency, ESA, has established its first Asian office in Tokyo, aiming to enhance collaboration with the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, JAXA, and Japan's expanding private sector. Located in ex-Nihonbashi Tower, this office will serve as a regional hub for industry engagement and coordination on joint missions like Earth Care and Bepi Colombo, as well as future projects including Destiny Plus and Ramses. The initiative highlights the strong ties between the European and Japanese space industries, with ESA's Director of Strategy emphasizing the value of this cooperation. JAXA's president also expressed support for improved communication and collaboration, particularly in climate monitoring and sustainable ventures, responding to the competitive landscape shaped by the United States, China, and Russia. Japan's new HTV-X cargo spacecraft arrived at the International Space Station, ISS, on Tuesday, captured by the ISS's Canadarm2, operated by NASA astronaut Zena Cardman, and JAXA's Yui Kimiya. The HTV-X can carry about 13,200 pounds of payload, and in this mission delivered approximately 9,000 pounds of food and supplies. The HTV-X is designed to stay in orbit longer than its predecessor, Japan's H-2 Transfer Vehicle, or HTV, providing on-orbit demonstration opportunities for up to 1.5 years after leaving the ISS. It joins other robotic cargo crafts servicing the ISS, including Russia's Progress vehicle, Northrop Grumman's Cygnus, and SpaceX's Dragon. Most of these vehicles are expendable, except for Dragon, which can return to Earth and be reused. Japan launched its first yen-backed stablecoin, JPYC, on Monday. This digital token is fully supported by Japanese banks and government bonds, pegged 1-to-1 to the yen, and offers zero fees for issuing and redeeming, which could transform digital payments in Asia. Built on the Ethereum and Base platforms, JPYC ensures quick and low-cost transactions. JPYC aims to tap into Asia's $700 billion remittance market, aiming for efficiency and transparency. Revenue comes from interest on government-backing bonds rather than user fees. JPYC faces challenges from Japan's strict regulations and the need for liquidity. Yet, experts believe it could reshape the remittance landscape by 2026. Since April, over 100 people in Japan have been injured in bear attacks, prompting more emergency hunts in cities. Municipalities have responded in part by increasing pay for licensed hunters. Hunting associations have been granted more flexibility with new emergency hunting laws, and they are now seeking to standardize the compensation rules, as current payments differ by municipality. Equipment costs and increased risk for hunters have led to higher pay rates, with smaller towns struggling to secure funds. Rates can also depend on the type of bear involved, with larger brown bears being more prevalent in Hokkaido than smaller black bears. Discussions on standardization are ongoing. The long-running Japanese superhero franchise, Super Sentai, which started with the Go Ranger show in 1975 and became known as the Power Rangers in the United States and Canada, is coming to an end. A source revealed that the franchise is ending due to low revenues from related events, merchandise, and movies compared to its production costs. The final series is titled No. 1 Sentai Go Juja, currently airing on TV Asahi, and will conclude next year. Over the years, 49 series have been produced, featuring ordinary people who transform into colorfully costumed superheroes in action-packed episodes. Many popular actors started their careers from these series, later becoming famous in movies and television dramas. It was announced on Saturday that the Trump administration added a 25% tariff on medium and heavy trucks imported from Japan, increasing the total tariff on these vehicles to 50%. This new tariff is in addition to the existing 25% tariff and raises concerns for Japanese truck manufacturers, as these trucks were not part of earlier tariff talks. The United States also imposed a 10% tariff on buses, adding to an existing 2% tariff. These tariffs are part of the government's efforts to deal with national security threats. The truck tariff also applies to parts like engines and tires, but goods covered by the US, Mexico, Canada arrangement are exempt from these tariffs. That brings us to the end of news items for the week ending November 1st. These and other stories, and any local craft beer events going on around the Tokyo area, you can read at theTokyoBill.com, along with links to the original stories and my merch store. I've been, and remain, Tokyo Bill. Thank you for listening, and take care.